age of the internet, the viral clip is king, and no one in politics churns out viral clips quite like Donald Trump. During his debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, Trump acknowledged the plight of Springfield, Ohio, where the local population is dealing with a massive influx of Haitian immigrants brought in by the Biden-Harris administration. Trump's assertion that "they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats" became the breakout clip of the debate, quickly creating a viral TikTok trend and even inspiring a hit dance song. The media attempted to fact-check and censor the claim, but the Streisand effect took hold. Dozens of conservative and independent journalists began investigating the town and interviewing the residents. The nation soon learned that not only was the situation in Springfield out of control, but it was just one of many cities across the country facing the threat of replacement-level immigration. Once it became clear that replacement-level immigration was happening, the media moved to the next stage of gaslighting. Well, of course it's happening, and it's a good thing that it is. The discussion shifted from questioning whether the government was coordinating the mass migration of foreign populations into Midwest towns to debating whether this massive displacement was somehow beneficial. Liberals quickly adopted neoconservative rhetoric, relying on the idea that raw economic activity is the sole determining factor of communal well-being. They argued that immigrants were revitalizing the economies of these small, forgotten towns, and that was all that mattered. The claims of economic revitalization are incredibly dubious. Most of the Haitian refugees are living on heavy federal subsidies that cover everything from housing to healthcare. Yes, technically more money is being spent in those neighborhoods, but the funds come from unsustainable and inorganic sources that are driving up the cost of living for the native population. Working-class families are being priced out of the housing market as federally subsidized immigrants raise rents. Crime and automotive accidents are skyrocketing, while parents pull their children out of local schools that are overwhelmed with non-English speaking students. None of this matters to ideologues justifying replacement migration. If an arbitrary economic chart shows the line going up, then the entire project is a success. No one explains why the economy can't be revitalized by handing the same money to the town's existing population. For some reason, only massive immigrant populations are credited with possessing this magical ability. Hey guys, let me tell you about today's sponsor, job stacking. More paychecks, less hustle, working from home, that's what job stacking is all about. If you're a remote or hybrid worker looking to maximize your earning potential, then consider joining the Job Stacking Mentorship Program. The program is designed by Ralph Haltza, the creator of Job Stacking, to help you successfully implement a strategy that will allow you to collect multiple paychecks from different jobs without burning out or getting caught by employers. Job stacking has already helped many people double or even triple their incomes. Luke Hill, a financial analyst living in the UK, has used job stacking to stack 3 different jobs and went from making $5K a month to $15K a month. But job stacking isn't just about increasing incomes. It's also about helping our guys gain more independence by no longer being a slave to debt or a single employer who hates their values. Andrew Gustafsson, a credit analyst from Australia, is now stacking 4 salaries, which he has used to pay off his personal and student debt and buy a home for his family. If you don't currently have a remote job, no worries. The program is also designed to help you land remote jobs so that you can go ahead and get started. So if you want to double your income and stop relying on a single paycheck from a woke employer, go to jobstacking.com/start now. That's jobstacking.com/start now and book a call with Rolf today. Amid this debate over economic benefits, the people of towns like Springfield are suddenly asked to justify their desire to maintain the character of their communities. Both sides of the immigration debate trade abstract statistics about economic development or crime, but it's the people whose families have lived in these communities for generations who are witnessing the real impact. Tiresome and lazy accusations of racism are the default slander against these communities, even though Black residents have been some of the most vocal in pushing back against mass migration. Scornful politicians and journalists demand that these victims of cynical political maneuvers present a rational, statistically objective case for protecting their communities. But they should be able to make the most basic moral argument of all. Because we live here. The right to associate, to form communities with others, and maintain the character and way of life of those communities is the most basic of natural laws. The idea that what a community builds is the rightful inheritance of their posterity, and that cultural continuity from one generation to the next is worth preserving, forms the foundation of civilization itself. This principle was enshrined in the US Constitution, but it was taken for granted. In a previous era, the notion that people would need an abstract academic argument to justify preferring their own community and prioritizing its well-being over that of strangers would have been seen as absurd. A radical shift in epistemology now serves as a convenient tool to smuggle in dogmatic assumptions. The idea that expert opinion and data are the only valid sources of truth in any public debate allows the institutions that produce those experts and generate that data to define the parameters of every discussion. The most ancient appeals suddenly become invalid in the face of expert institutions and statistics. What if community is more than just a zone of economic activity? What if there are critical factors like social cohesion that don't immediately show up in data but are vital to defining human well-being? These questions are never answered because they aren't easily addressed by our new sources of authority. In fact, they would challenge the very foundation of that authority. Of course, our ruling class considers some communities more valuable or valid than others. Recently, the Chicago City Council approved $51 million to house a large population of illegal immigrants for only a 30-day period. During the city council meeting, the police had to remove several outraged residents who demanded to know why that enormous amount of money wasn't being spent to improve the lives of their community members instead. The community in question was predominantly black, which will spare them from the ire of the media and the disdain of the Democratic Party, even though the argument is the same one being made in forgotten Midwestern towns, because we live here and we have the right to prefer our community. Economic data can be valuable, and crime statistics are important, but none of these metrics matter if we don't first understand the communities that they represent. American towns and cities shouldn't be treated as sandboxes where the ruling elite can just run social experiments until they produce the kind of subjects that they favor. It is enough for the people of the United States to prefer their neighbors and the way of life that they built in their communities. It's entirely reasonable to expect a degree of ownership over what your ancestors built. It's also acceptable to love something and defend it because it's yours, without needing some abstract data or the validation of experts. It is both moral and just to protect our communities from replacement migration because we live here, and we must never be shamed into believing otherwise. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. Also, make sure that you click the bell and that you turn on the notifications, otherwise you won't know when the channel goes live. If you'd like to get these broadcasts as podcasts, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the Auron MacIntyre Show on your favorite podcast platform, and when you do, leave a rating or a review. It really helps with the algorithm magic. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter or Gab or Substack or Instagram, if you'd like to get these videos on Odyssey or Rumble, the links to do all of that are down below in the description. And I finally got the Rumble channel working again, though it's still not letting me stream. But if you want to watch the videos on Rumble, they are being uploaded there. The streams are going up after they stream on YouTube. And of course, you can catch all of my shows and read all of my columns over at The Blaze. Thank you everybody for watching, and as always, I'll talk to you next time.